What's up, friends? It's Volt Firecore. You read about the title. That's all that needs to be said. Magearna and Cinderace have been banned from OU. So, one of them is a quick ban, and one of them is a full ban. So let's start off with Magearna, since that's the important one. If you guys didn't know, Magearna is a insane mon. It is very bulky. It has decent speed, but it also has shift gear, so it can become really fast, and it also has insane special attack. And arguably the two best types in the game, being Steel and Fairy. At least inside of my opinion, I think Steel's a very strong type. But heading over to this, basically what they did is if you get a certain amount of points with like, I'm pretty sure you have to have like a title inside your name, so like Magearna, like MAG or something, after that, and on a new account, and if you get enough games, let's say 40, I'm pretty sure you have to win 40, you become eligible to vote. So you have to just use Magearna a bunch, and then you're able to vote. And as you can see, a lot of people decided to vote for this one. I've been checking these very regularly. Haven't made a video on one yet, I don't think. On a few mons, like some like RU stuff, basically just bans instead of lower tiers. But this is pretty polarizing. So as you can see, there are 141 people who decided to ban them out of the 170 votes. Unfortunately, 12 people decided they wanted to bounce or something. They just didn't want to vote, or maybe their accounts got banned or whatever. But yeah, Magearna is banned. You only need 60, and this thing got 82. So obviously, it was kind of obvious it was going to get banned. But yeah, now we don't have to worry about Magearna. So yeah, do we want to read this? Although none of the users who have earned voting have voted yet, not all of them, their votes will be not affected the outcomes of the vote. Yeah, okay, so they don't have like a, does anyone have like a description? No, sometimes they have like a description talking about things like a reason why it's banned, but all these people are saying Magearna ban, Magearna ban, Magearna ban. I assume that's how they voted or something. Maybe. Anyways, so let's go back and check out Cinderace. So this one's very quick. Basically, Cinderace is now banned from OU. So this dude actually does have a very long, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's get into this. Alright, so TDK wrote, "Hello all, the OU Council has anonymously voted to quick ban Cinderace, then give a full suspect test into the near future." So they just kind of chucked it out, and they want to see how it works. So I'm pretty sure they did this inside of Melmetal's case. Yeah, they did the same thing in Melmetal. At the beginning of the Gen 8, they just chucked it inside of Ubers because they were like, it's too strong, it's too strong. And then later inside the Gen, they decided, hey, let's drop it down, let's tip our toes. And they tipped their toes, and it turned out it was too strong. I think Melmetal is not like overpowering or anything because it's kind of slow, but I understand why it's there. Cinderace, on the other hand, I have very polarizing thoughts on Cinderace. Cinderace is one of my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon, so it's really gonna be sad to see it go. But it might come back when the DLC comes, like the next Isle of Armor? No, Crown Tundra, because they might add them on that can counter Cinderace, and you know, then it'll be all good. But Cinderace, being like physical Greninja, is quite strong. So Galar's most popular starter has skyrocketed in usage and potency ever since its hidden ability Libero got released mid-June. Libero, despite its defensive name, I didn't know Libero was a defensive name, pushes Cinderace's offensive potential to the far ends of what one could consider balanced. Much like Protean Greninja towards the end of XY into early ORAS, Cinderace has incredible speed coupled with stab on every move it uses. Yeah, so that's what Libero does. It basically makes it so when it uses the move, before the move comes out, it switches into that type. And I just want you guys to know the power of stab moves. So stab moves are same a type attack bonus. Most of you probably know that if you're watching this video. If you don't know that, it's fine. There you go. But it's a 1.5 bonus. So it's stronger than Life Orb. It's kind of like a choice band. And it's very, very strong. So usually people have coverage moves on the side, like, I don't know, they have like their 2 stab attacks, like Chestnut. He has a grass move, a fighting move, and then he might have like Ice Punch or Earthquake or something like that. Those moves do not have stab, so they don't do as much damage. But stab is every single move Cinderace uses, which is quite insane. So yeah, you can also use that inside of VGC. with like bounce or something to make it so you don't get hit by earthquakes. It's crazy strong. So where was I? Cinderace has also has multiple moves with extraordinary base power. It has two 120 base power moves, being Gunk Shot and Pyro Ball, and has one 130, being HJK, at its disposal. On top of multiple other options, then Headbutt is crucial for Tox effects. Sucker Punch can come in clutch for picking off weakened Pokemon, and Dragapult. Court Change has incredible utility. Bulk Up has the potential to sweep teams, and of course U-Turn as a highly spammable move with low punishment options. Yeah, phasing moves or just switching moves are like they can't be banned since they're just a part of the meta. Like every single gen brings in their own little gimmick, but back inside the earlier gens, the gimmicks were crazy. Like inside of Gen 1, it was all about paralyzing. I don't know Gen 1, but Gen 2 brought spikes, and spikes were on like every single team, at least what I know of. Then Gen 3 brought other things, but then Gen 4 brought Stealth Rocks, and we all know what happens with Stealth Rocks. So yeah, and then phasing moves came out, so you can switch in and out, and then a bunch of other strategies, which I think is great, because I don't think a meta or an entire gen should just be, you know, chopped up to, oh, this is the gen for specifically Stallmons. Like, sure, there are gens where stall is more prominent, like inside of Gen 8, stall isn't as good inside of other ones, since there's a lot of wall breakers, Cinderace being one of the premier versions, and other dudes as well. But yeah, U-Turn is a very strong move. Is he gonna get into the heavy duty boots, which is like made this thing really strong? U-Turn as a highly spammable move with low punishment options. Cinderace's toolkit is truly unmatched in this metagame. The most commonly used moves, Power Ball and Gunk Shot, have huge ups and downs. A burn from Power Ball is a game-changing, turning reliable counterplay, such as a Powdon, into a passive answer that gets easily whittled down. Gunk Shot has a high chance to inflict poison for a move that is already so powerful, and inflicting poison on a Pokemon like Manabla's or a bulky Pokemon can be truly devastating. Yeah, because it like deletes their actually no. With a burn, it counters their it does 6%, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, leftovers heals you 6%, and then burn takes you down 6%, so it cancels that. But poison, I'm pretty sure it does 8, 10, or 12. I do not know. But yeah, Gunk Shot, everyone wasn't using that. Before it used to be, well, there's a bunch of sets you can use, but the one I like to use is Life Orb Bulk Up with Heavy Duty Boots. You also can run Banded, but I think Heavy Duty Boots are just like the most optimal thing now, since, you know, rocks are still quite prominent, especially since knockoff. You can just knock off them boots, since knockoff is broken. Yeah, there's a bunch of good sets you can use. Bunch of good sets. But it started using Gunk Shot because Azumarill and Primarina became like some counters to it, and Gunk Shot was just beating it up, and it is horrifying, even though Azumarill can probably just one-shot it with an Aqua Jet. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, where was I? Gunk Shot has a high chance of poison. For a move that is already so powerful and can be truly devastating. With that said, both of these moves also have their downsides. Both moves have 8 PP, so getting PP stalled is a realistic fear. And both are not 100% accurate, as Power Ball is 90 accuracy, while Gunk Shot is only 80. Like, I think these moves kind of have to have that kind of luck. That's just a part of the game. But, yeah. At least it's not like having to rely on like a Focus Blast or something. But still. That's quite strong. You know what would be crazy? If they gave this thing close combat. Oh, I don't want to think about that. They gave Lopunny close combat in U-Turn. I'm just baffled at why. Why did you do that? Like, the counter to Lopunny is literally just going into Mons that you can just protect with. And that was like the counterplay, but no. Now you can't do that. It's so sad. Okay, Power Balls, these moves have a ton of upsides, but also could be tragic, shown in the should the RNG not go your way. The expectation of getting these secondary effects, especially with Power Ball, is not a reason to lose a situation. No, not a reason to have this Pokemon get banned. However, Cinderace isn't always a hit and win or miss, and lose situation. It forces switches from many devastating Pokemon, defensive Pokemon such as Mungus, Clefable, Corviknight, Ferrothorn, Rillaboom, Tangrowth, etc. Again, the logic of Cinderace being RNG reliant isn't being applied here. We are assuming Cinderace will freely get these effects, nor assume it will frequently miss. I think any Pokemon out there can rely on misses, and it doesn't chalk them up to be, like, just because they can miss doesn't really mean they're, like, not broken. Like, you got Greninja. Greninja, he can miss Hydro Pump, sure. Does he miss Hydro Pump 80% of the time? Maybe you'll get one of those games where you miss it 3 times in a row. But then there's other games where you don't miss it and you still do 50% for not very effective attacks because it's Specs Greninja. Well, Specs Battle Bond Greninja. I think Protean's okay. Even though it's banned inside of National Dex, which is good. Okay, the most reliable form of countermeasure to Cinderace is Rocky Helmet Toxapex with Baneful Bunker. Although Toxapex is 2-hit KO'd by Zen Headbutt, yeah. I'm pretty sure specially defensive Toxapexes are, like, really up right now, and they just have enough physical defense so they don't get 2-hit KO'd by Zen Headbutt, so that's fine. Although Toxapex is 2-hit KO'd by Zen despite its great defensive stats, it can threaten with Baneful Bunker to whittle down Cinderace, render it unable to making progress. The issue that arises is that Cinderace's user is more capable of scouting this. By using Power Ball or Gunk Shot, Cinderace is able to become immune or to either Skull Burn or Toxic, in the case Toxic opts for something other than Baneful. Alternatively, Cinderace can simply just switch out and see if Baneful Bunker is relative. After it's revealed, it becomes a mind game where the Toxapex user will be in serious trouble if they're ever wrong. Yeah, I guess. Like, when you think about it, how many counters are there to Cinderace? I can't really think of many. Like, I'm pretty sure if you get, like, two bulk ups or something, you have a chance to 1-hit KO a full physically defensive Toxapex, and I'm pretty sure just after... I'm not sure what the exact calc is, I'm not, but yeah, bulk up variants can still do quite a bit. But having a Mon that can do that is pretty crazy. Having a Mon that has, like, one consistent counter, since, like, sure, at the moment people aren't really using High Jump Kick, so I guess, but still, it's interchangeable. You can't just say, oh, the set at the moment isn't using High Jump Kick, so this Mon walls it. Sure, at the moment, some Mons could wall it, because, you know, they don't have to worry about High Jump Kick, but if that Mon becomes too problematic, Cinderace users will just start slapping that on, which is quite insane. Okay. Compared to the previous generations, the present OU metagame is a lot slower. Yeah, Cinderace's speed tier, which initially might appear not that acceptable, is truly incredible. Dragapult and Zeraora run the tier when it comes to speed, but there's a massive drop-off after them. In fact, Cinderace is the 4th fastest Pokemon OU. Really? 4th fastest? So I'm assuming it's Zeraora, Dragapult, Ninjask? No, not Ninjask. I don't know. I really don't know what the others are. Okay. Only behind Alakazam. Oh, duh. Alakazam. I forgot he was in there. Mr. Focus Sash Nasty Plot himself. And the aforementioned Pokemon. This puts into perspective how hard it is to punish Cinderace. It deals significant damage to a vast majority of the metagame, outspeeds almost all of it, avoids passive chip due to heavy-duty bolts, and can even utilize Libero and its name as its name is intended, giving Cinderace the ability to change its type to withstand a potentially fatal attack. Yeah, I haven't seen that too much. I went against this one dude who was using this grassy seed like acrobatics thing, and I was doing pretty good, but then I decided I wanted to EQ this bitch, and Well, it didn't go too well for me. He broke my Focus Sash with the acrobatics. I went for the EQ, and we know what happens next. It didn't go too well. It did not go too well. But anyways, potentially fatal attack. Yes. Now, sure, Alakazam is faster and Dragapult's faster, but Zeraora I don't think can one-shot it. Dragapult gets killed by Sucker Punch, so I highly doubt many Dragapults are going to be chilling in there, since I think every single Cinderace, at least that I've seen, has run Sucker Punch, since that seems like the most used. Like, it's kind of just a toss-up if you want Sucker Punch, or if you want U-Turn. Kind of whatever you want. I haven't seen Court Change in a very long time. Like, it's still a good move. Sure. Like, but the Mon... having offensive presence and the ability to do that is good, because if someone, you know, has a Mon that is really weak to yours, you can switch that out, and instead of doing a U-turn on the Ferrothorn or something, you can do a Court Change or something, and then switch into Rotom or whatever the fuck you want. Okay, there are flaws, however, for Cinderace. I've touched on multiple already, but a big one is that Cinderace, as strong as it seems to be, fails to secure important KOs. In fact, the majority of the metagame is more than capable of surviving a hit from Cinderace. Yes. Max Defense Clefable never dies to a Gunk Shot from a Jolly Cinderace, and can cripple it by removing its boots or paralyzing with Thunder Wave. Yes, but you're still getting rid of pretty much your Clefable, unless you can get a Wish off, I guess. But still, having a Clefable out like that, and then if you paralyze it, sure. But what if they got Heal Bell or Aromatherapy? Like, again, this is all just... there are ways to counter a Mon, of course. There's no Mon that is just so metagame defining that there's no counters for it. Like, even if there was an Uber's Mon inside of OU, people would find out how to take it down. They'd have, like, a Prankster Mon with Thunder Wave, and then they just have to hope and pray to the skies above that they get a paralyzed thing and they can start willing it down. I'm pretty sure Zygarde was like that. Back inside of Gen 7? I don't know. I really don't. Did a Thunder Wave. Or it can even use more niche options such as Counter. Counter, really? I guess it works. Any Corviknight with minimal defense investment on the top of a boosted nature can tank a Power Ball and either chip Cinderace with attack or roost it off, draining 2 PP thanks to pressure. Toxapex with no prior damage has a good shot of laughing off whatever Cinderace throws at it. Even Zen Headbutt Adamant Cinderace deals only 55.9 max to max defense. Toxapex with Zen Headbutt. Yeah, so I guess if you want to bulk up twice, then there you go. That's pretty cool. Which can be shrugged off by the Black Sludge Recovery, 2 optional rolls or a crit. Bar 2 optional rolls, okay. Despite the fact that it gets stab on all of its attacks, Cinderace is also simply impeccable of breaking past the more defensive Pokemon in the tier without luck or a lot of outplaying. Powdon and Mandibuzz can shrug off anything thrown at it as long as they don't get inflicted by one of the Power Ball or Gunk Shot's secondary effects. The only fear is coming from the only fear is coming in on a U-turn to the point of being in range of 2 of the aforementioned attacks. But these Pokemon take very little, and Hippowdon is capable of punishing U-turn with Rocky Helm, as well as chip through the Sandstream. Okay. It should be mentioned that Cinderace has plenty of offensive checks as well. Dragapult is the premier offensive check, resisting both of Cinderace's powerful moves, as well as U-turn, only fearing a potential Sucker Punch. Yeah, that Sucker Punch is pretty dangerous, though. Like, everyone is... well, not everyone, but what I've seen, there are a lot of, Thunder Wave? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they run Thunder Wave now. It's a Thunder Wave, Spell Tag, Hex Dragapult, and it's like a really good Cinderace counter because most people are going to want Sucker Punch. Then you can get that move off, the Thunder Wave, paralyzing it, and then the Cinderace is crippled, like hardcore crippled, and then you can go for Hex, which is buffed up by the Spell Tag, and also buffed up because that's what Hex does. If it's a status effect, it gets ×2 power. So yeah, I guess it can be used as a counter like that. Old Dragapults or average Dragapults with no thing like that, they still have to worry about Sucker Punch, of course. Only fearing a potential Sucker Punch. Zeraora deals significant damage and can even Volt Switch out on Cinderace out of its kill range. Most potential Scarf Pokemon are more than capable of knocking Cinderace out due to its relative lack of bulk. Weather abusers such as Excadrill, Kingler, and Venusaur are all very big threats and reliably scare out Cinderace. Cinderace, after changing its type with Libero, could also find itself in fear of being hit by a hard potential priority such as Rillaboom's Grassy Glide or Urshifu's Sucker Punch. Or Urshifu's Aqua Jet, you know, the other one that no one uses. Cinderace's moves, despite how good they are, have a lot of downsides. A Pokemon like Cinderace isn't quite strong enough to avoid being gated by the 8 PP of its 2 strongest moves, considering Cinderace has to click the right move to get a KO, and there are a lot of things that resist either fire or poison attacks. It isn't practical. It isn't impractical to combat Cinderace by draining its PP and handling it accordingly. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people do that, like, what was it? Oh yeah, it was like Protect, Pressure, Corviknight. People used to do that way back when, and then they switched into something. I guess you could do that now with a Regenerator Mon. You could do it with like Slowbro or something. Just switch between them or something. I don't know. I highly doubt someone would just stay in on Pokemon like that, but you know, you never know the latter. Even with its flaws, Cinderace is an extremely unique Pokemon. Its relative lack of downsides, with the exception of getting unlucky by missing a move, makes it incredibly menacing, and its incredible move pool, speed, and ability all combine it too much for the present metagame to handle at the moment. There is a large lack of counter-measurements. Its presence is something that needs to be dealt with, and we need to do that by chucking it out of the metagame. We will be testing Cinderace back in the very near future. I wonder when. Like, when they say near future, do they mean, like, after the DLC? That would make more sense, but that's going to take a while, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. As long as it gets another chance down there, I think it's fine, and it has, like, a proper testing, because this is just a quick ban, since everyone's complaining about it. Like, sure, there are the people out there that still want other Mons out. Like, I don't think Urshifu is too polarizing, is still quite strong, and, you know, some people say Toxapex, but I don't know. Okay, very near future. We intend to get this done prior to the release of the next Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion, the Crown Tundra, coming sometime in the fall. However, if the release is too soon, we will most likely be looking into freeing Cinderace immediately once we gain all the new Pokemon and most likely new moves as well. Yeah, probably want to just chuck him back in there inside the party and see what he does. As discussed in the thread in the policy review subforum, I've checked that voting on a potential reset will have a lower threshold than normal suspect tests. Simply a simple majority is required to keep this Pokemon in mind for when the reset happens. Discussing in another thread. I don't like okay. But yeah. Oh boy, they still got a lot of stuff. Okay, so do I want to check this? Okay, that's the suspect test. Again, I would like to illustrate that we are not catering around to the official tournament schedule, but rather trying to not inconvenience anyone who wishes to both vote in a suspect test as well as participate in the official ladder tournament. Oh, well, I don't know what that means, I just guessed. We've discussed holding these simultaneously and allowing people who achieve voting requisites while laddering for OLT to just go ahead and post those requisites. But we're unsure at the moment of the multitude of the reasons and wish to iron out the more before we consider it. A notable issue is the fact that people laddering for OLT will not really evaluate Cinderace while laddering, and they only care about climbing the ladder in the most effective means possible, I suppose. So, all in all, we realize this makes 2 large changes to the tier back to tier between the results of the Magearna suspect test and this quick ban. Hopefully the tier will change for the better now and get some time to settle before the expansion pass releases in the near future. Yeah, Cinderace the legend. Alright, so my opinion on this, I'm pretty glad Cinderace is gone at the moment. I think either we need to take some on from like a lower tier to counter it, since, you know, I'm pretty sure Galarian Weezing was like the epic ultimate counter for Urshifu, so there has to be some kind of counter for Cinderace. instead of like ZU or something, maybe. Well, like you said, like weather really hurts it, Scarfers really hurt it. It's kind of just up to how you wish to counter said Cinderace. So I think Cinderace will probably go back instead of OU. Yeah, and that's probably going to happen around the Crown Tundra. And I'm really looking forward to that, since they're going to add a bunch of new stuff, and hopefully that makes some Pokemon that are super dominant of the tier a little bit less dominant. Like I said inside of a video that was uploaded yesterday, I want to say, I don't know, because I want this video to come out quickly. I made the video where I took a look at the leaks. Don't watch that unless you want to get leaked. And spoilers ahead. Head out if you don't want any spoilers. Alright. There's like Tapu Koko and Tapu Lele and all that kind of stuff that are going to be severe, insane counters for the entire meta. The meta is just going to go on its head. So yeah, wait for that, because that's going to be pretty interesting. The Crown Tundra is going to make Sword and Shield insane. So I have a feeling Cinderace is probably going to come back to help deal with those menaces. But since they're bringing those guys back, that also means that they're bringing their speed back. And they're bringing Greninja back too, so Protean Greninja. But I assume that also means Battle Bond Greninja, so, you know, who knows? We're going to have the entire party instead of Generation 8. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Sorry if my reading skills were not on point. It is not my strong suit, and yeah, next time I will do a better job, if there is a next time, since, you know, this isn't really what I'm used to doing. I'm used to playing and talking, but this is just a good conversation video. So please comment below what you guys think of this ban. I know the Magearna ban was kind of just obvious, and the Cinderace ban was more talked about, but I didn't want the video to be too short. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah. Tell me what you think about the Magearna ban, the Cinderace quick ban, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and keep on the lookout for my videos.